Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's everyone doing?
Good morning. Doing all right?
I'm so tired.
A little tired.
It's Monday morning. That was a pretty intense way to start our week, wasn't it? Talking about the criminal justice system in New York City. My head hurts and my heart hurts and everything hurts. So I'm like, okay, let's talk about Outlook now. It's kind of a weird transition. So do me a favor down in the chat box. What was the highlight of your weekend? The Lakers sleeping, rest, sleep. Work, Manny says. Cold and no heat. Hanging out with friends. Very cold. Chipotle. That sounds like a lot of fun. Wait, Ashley Ross, you spent the whole day Saturday sleeping and you woke up at 8 p.m.? All right, pull yourself off mute because I need to hear this because I'm so confused right now.
Yes, I did wake up at night. I usually have time sleeping during the week, so Saturday,
So you went to, okay.
I didn't have any alarms, so I woke up at 8 p.m.
I have many questions. First question, like what time did you go to bed on Friday?
About 2 a.m.
So then you went to 2 a.m. Friday, woke up at 8 p.m.
Yep.
Got it. Wow, so you were really tired.
I was.
Well, I hope you got the rest that you needed. That's it's good to hear. Yeah, I saw Bad Bunny did a concert. So that's pretty cool. He actually came through my neighborhood. I have to be really honest. I'm going to feel very uncool. I had no idea who Bad Bunny was. I never even heard of this person before. I never been on Instagram. It's like, yo, Bad Bunny's in the Grand Concourse. I was like, yo, I can see my building from his feed. Like, who is this guy? So yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Like somewhere in the last like 3 or 4 years, I like turned the corner. Thank you, Avalon. I'm glad I know we're in the same boat. Where I stopped keeping up with things. Like the last social media that I got was Instagram, and then TikTok came out. I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to go there. Instagram is my last social media. So anyways, he put us on a good show. Went to his concert for my birthday. Ashley Ross says, I'll have to check out his music. So I have not heard of him before yesterday when he did a show through New York City, through the Heights, through Harlem, and through the Bronx. So I know I'll get in trouble for this, but my guy can't sign. Okay, and there we go. I deleted all my social media. Jaleesa says, you are very smart. I watched The Social Dilemma on Netflix over the weekend. And if you watch that movie, you might delete your social media as well because it's pretty eye-opening. Anyways, guys, before we get started and jump into today's class, if you can get off camera, please be on camera. We want to be able to see everybody to mimic the workspace. If you can't, that's fine too, but ideally we want to be able to see you all. And one of the things I wanted to do this morning to sort of kick things off before we go to Jesus, who's our assistant instructor today, is how many of you guys give me a hands up on the right side? Remember like the 10 rules to be successful in this class. So give me a green check mark if you remember what those were. You remember seeing them. You're like, oh yeah, I remember we talked about that the very first day. So give me a green check box on the right if you remember sort of that, what it was, what we talked about. All right, thank you. Let me go ahead and pull it over here. All right, Jesus, you're my assistant instructor. Can you come off mute and tell me if you can see that screen, how to win this course and in life?
I cannot see the screen still.
You can ask, let me see.
I just see the calendar.
You just see the calendar? Okay, new screen share. All right, can you see that, Jesus?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you, Jesus. So take a moment, look at these 10 rules to win in life, and do me a favor in the chat box, which number is the most important one to you? Which one is like, hey, you got to follow this one because this one is the gold standard.
Eric, I cannot see the screen.
Neftali cannot see the screen. Okay, do me a favor. Oh, you may zoom in. I might be on your end, Neftali, because everyone else is able to see it. So just play around with it on your end. Zoom in, sure thing.
Yeah, that's better.
All right, great, thanks. Also, this is on Schoology if you can't see this. You can go to your Schoology, you can click on this course, you can click on start here, and it'll pop up there. All right, Mr. Jesus, can you tell me what some of the folks in the chat box are saying for the most important one, like what number?
Let me see. So most were saying number 1, and
Okay,
mostly number 1, yeah. Mostly number
cool.
1, which is submit your deliverables assignment on time. If an assignment is due at 11:59 on Thursday, and you submit it at 11:58, it would appear in Schoology as 12 a.m. on a Friday, and it would be considered late. So avoid this and submit early.
Yes, thank you so much, Jesus. Very important. One thing that I also want to draw all of our attention to is number 4. Last week, there was a few instances where people were disrupting. Like I'd be talking, someone else would be talking, and they would just unmute themselves and start talking over the person speaking. Since last week was the very first week, I gave a little bit of grace. I said, okay, we're still getting used to this. But from here on out, if you have something to say, please put it in the chat box. And then that way, Jesus or whoever's the assistant instructor, that's the only person who's allowed to unmute themselves and disrupt anybody else talking. But other than that, we want to make sure we stay off on mute the whole entire time unless we're speaking. And the reason we want to do that is because we want this to mimic the working world. And if you were in a meeting at work and your colleagues were having a conversation and you just unmuted yourself and jumped in, then it would be perceived as very rude. So from now on, you have a question, chat box, Jesus or whoever the assistant instructor is. Hey, Eric, got a question. I can't always see it. I'm looking at my PowerPoint. I'm looking at your faces. I'm looking at the chat box. I'm looking at everything else going on. So I sometimes miss it. So I have Jesus to be my assistant today and whoever else will be in the weeks to come. So just want to be mindful of that. All right, everybody. So Mr. Jesus, tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What made you want to get involved with Year Up? And something interesting or a fun fact about you.
All right, good morning, guys. I want to say first, happy first day of fall. It's the first day of
Yes.
fall. And I'm currently from Brooklyn. I'm a
Cool.
native for, how would I say this? I'm a Brooklyn native. I'm from Sunset Park.
Cool.
And I decided to join Year Up for bringing up my skills and overall getting the experience, the internship experience. And I believe that Year Up would be able to help me becoming personally and professionally to grow. A fun fact about me, I would say, is I'm a first generation college student, and I'm a first generation US citizen as well.
That's great. That's excellent. Let's go ahead and give him a clap. And where's your family from, Jesus?
They are from Mexico.
Awesome. Well, we are so happy to have you as one of our colleagues. Thank you so much for being my assistant instructor today.
Thank you.
Since it's Monday morning and we're just getting things started, I'm going to give you all an icebreaker activity. I'm going to put it into the chat box. I'm going to give you about, I don't know, 3 minutes to complete it. And then when you're done, you're going to give me the green checkbox on the side. So here it is in the chat box, and go. It's okay if you're lost. We'll explain it. Thanks for your honesty, Ashley. So imagine that I just emailed you. I said, hey, I want to talk to you about your progress in Intro to Computers tomorrow at 3:30 on this Zoom link. Send me a calendar marker. So you're going to go into your Outlook and you're going to create an event where you and I are going to meet at 3:30 tomorrow on this Zoom link. Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, that was my fault. I should have been more clear. This is just a scenario. I did not actually email you. I don't actually want to talk to you at 3:30 tomorrow either. Unless you want to talk, then we can. Thanks, Zena. You find that joke funny? I have very dry humor. Not everybody gets it. All right, who's going to be first? Who's going to give me that green check mark that you are done? And please don't actually send it. I mean, you can if you want, but you don't need to send it. Just create it. Oh, Pablo, first one. Excellent.
Hello. Hi, it's Luis. I'm sorry, but how long should we make the meeting?
Good question, Luis. Let's say 30 minutes.
All right, thank you.
All right, Chelsea. Excellent.
I don't even see your email.
I didn't actually send an email. This is a scenario or a breakout. So imagine that I just emailed you. I said, hey, we need to talk 3:30 tomorrow about your progress in Intro to Computers, and I want you to create a calendar marker.
Oh, no, I was just going to tag you, but okay, I'll just put it.
Cool. Thanks, Manny. Nice job. Samaje, nice job. All right. Rahul, excellent. Ricardo. Let me give you guys one more minute to figure it out. This is what we talked about last week. How do you create a calendar invite? Luis, great. Moses, great. All right, Anja, Andre, Amina, Amadul. I see all of you. Ashley Ross, Ashley Gavin, Karina. All right, looks like about half of us are done. Let's take about 15 more seconds. Who else can wrap it up? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call it there. I'm going to go ahead and pull everyone's green check marks down. And let's do this. I'm going to ask, you know what? I'm not going to put anybody on the spot because I don't want to. Is there anybody that wants to type in the chat box that they're comfortable sharing their screen and how they created the calendar invite? And we'll ask you to be the person. Ashley Gavin, you have your hand up. Thank you, Ashley Gavin. Do you want to share your screen and unmute yourself and walk us through how you created the calendar invite?
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we got it, Ashley.
Okay. I didn't send it, but this is how I did it. So I don't know.
Yeah, can you walk us through the process? Like you clicked on, a new invitation.
Yes.
And then obviously up top, you put my name is there, the date is there, the time is there.
I set a name for the, okay, there it is on the top. So I wrote that we're going to discuss the progress of our class. So with you, it's tomorrow. I don't know. It changed times. You said 3:30 to 4.
Yep.
And then I set a reminder, and then I just wrote like what you said in the chat, how we'll be discussing about the intro to computers. So.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. Can you keep yours up for a second for us?
Okay.
And can someone either put in the chat box, what's one thing that she remembered from last week? She remembered everything that we talked about. What was one big thing that she remembered? Put in the chat box, and I'll ask Jesus to help me read the comments. But what is something that she did? Jesus, what are some of the answers on there?
Writing the subject on the meeting and an agenda, providing an agenda.
Yes, absolutely. So she has the subject. What are we discussing? She has the agenda. Correct. She did all those things. What would happen if she just sent me an invite that said Ashley and Eric meet? I probably would say, well, wait, what is this about again? Like by the time 3:30 tomorrow rolls around, I'm not gonna remember. You know how many meetings I have between now and 3:30 tomorrow? At least 10. So yes, she has an agenda. She has everything. So Ashley, you can stop sharing your screen. Let's go ahead and give Ashley a clap. Excellent job. All right, and it looks like Andre also wants to share, and then we'll go to Samaje. So go ahead, Andre, you can unmute yourself and share your screen.
All right.
Bottom of the screen, there you go, you got it.
So what I did was, since we were supposed to be meeting you for the discussion of the class or progress of class, I put that as the title. We were supposed to be meeting for tomorrow, which is September 22nd for 3:30. Should be around half an hour, so it ends at 4. And there's the Zoom link. The
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Andre, for including that as well. That was part of the instructions, so thank you. So yeah, looks good. So do me a favor, Andre, press the discard button for now. Because we don't have to meet tomorrow. You're doing perfectly fine as class. You're not, you have to go to the principal's office, so no meeting tomorrow at 3:30. But to go ahead and close this out. So the trash button up top, discard. Next to the send button, yep. So close that. Only because I want everyone to be able to see what the screen looks like. Yep, delete this event. We're not actually meeting at 3:30 tomorrow unless you want to, Andre, then we're more than happy to. So you discard the event. All right, now we see a blank screen. Yep, now this is perfect. Yep, okay. All right, you're gonna have to go ahead and share, do a new share. Okay, hit okay, yep. We see your screen. Oh, you stopped sharing. Can you pull up your screen again? We just wanna see what your calendar, so everybody kind of knows where to click. Yep, hit okay to that. Now, where does Andre hit to do this event? Right there, top left corner. So I email Andre, I said, hey Andre, I want to meet tomorrow at 3:30. Can you please create a calendar marker? Yep, no problem, Eric, new event, and he does exactly what he just did. All right, go ahead, you can stop sharing your screen. Let's go ahead and give a clap to Andre. Last but not least, Samaje, can you go ahead and show us what your screen looks like?
Okay, can you guys see it?
It's still loading, but yep, you got it. There we go, perfect.
All right, perfect. I put process meeting with Hoke. I said that correctly, right?
You said it right. It's not hokey or hoke. I'm not French.
Perfect. I also looked at the schedule assistant to make sure that you're free. I've provided the Zoom link. Here's my agenda.
Awesome.
And I also used this thing to color it for me because my calendar is colorful at the moment, but that's it.
Samaje, you must have read the notes before class because you got this perfect. Do me a favor, press send on this one, and let's take a look at your calendar. That's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to discuss color coding our calendar. So as you all can see, you look at her calendar, and go ahead and change the view for me to just hit like one day. Actually, no, you don't even have to. I'm sorry. Like look at the right. See how it's purple for kickoff, right? And coaching. See how it's green for this class. See how it's blue for business writing. See how it's orange for hardware. She has different color coded to identify her calendar more easy. And if she were to like click on view for a day, what I'm going to do is let's do this, Samaje. You're going to stop sharing. Thank you so much for making a very smooth transition to what I want to discuss today. And I'll go ahead and share my screen in a work week mode. Let's go ahead and pop that up there. Jesus, do you see that, the screen, the calendar?
Yes, I can see it clearly.
Okay, great, thank you. So as you can see by looking at the calendar, I have green, intro to is all my classes. I have orange is my lunchtime. I have gray is head down work. I have blue is meetings. And then I have yellow is learning is our learning community, LCM. And then I also have the red, which is my PD time, professional development time. So this is what, a well-managed calendar looks like. If all these were the same color, it would just be confusing. So Samaje, you are gonna get a little bit of a breather because our next activity is to color code your calendar. So while we're all color coding, Samaje is gonna go have a coffee or a tea and relax for a few minutes. So thank you so much for sharing that. So in the chat box, do me a favor, why is color coding your calendar important? Like why bother doing that? What are some of the things you think? Jesus says keep it organized, easier to read, organization. Yes, all of the above. Mahmoud, pull yourself off mute. Like why is it easier to read? Because like I can read it whether it's all blue, whether it's different colors. What do you mean by that?
Well, you can just tell at a glance what belongs in what category, like what's a class, what's a meeting, what's a group meeting, what's a meeting with a coach. So you can distinguish it at a glance.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mahmoud. Help you see the activities are repetitive and easily distinguish between each class, different subjects. You might attend the wrong event, all of the above. Great. So what I want to do is I'm going to share with you all my, my screen within Outlook again. So Jesus, you can see that. It's the Outlook calendar.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. So like imagine that I was going to, my lunch is orange. And this is, as you can see, a repeating event. If I want to change the color, this is how you do on a PC. On a Mac, it'll be a little bit different. But a PC, you right click, you categorize, and let's say, you know what, for orange, I want to make it, purple. And then see what happens. Now all of them turn purple. Now I don't want to do that because as you can see, my office hours are also purple. So it can be confusing. So I like it being orange. So I make it orange again. Just actually remove the purple. I don't want purple. And that's like the generic, that light blue is like what it would be naturally. I'm gonna go back to making it orange. Another thing you can do also, like let's say like me and Keith are meeting tomorrow from internship services. If I wanted to, I could manage categories and now look at all these different categories I could do. So if I were to say my meeting with Keith, I'm gonna make it, I don't know, this nice forest green. All right, I have to name it. I'll say one-on-one meetings. Okay. And then categorize one-on-one meetings. And now it's that forest green. Another thing I like about doing it this way is that then it gives you a clear picture, like Mahmoud mentioned, like I can see what my day looks like. Like today on the left, look at this day today. I had Monday morning kickoff, intro to computers, LLT twice, office hours, and PD time. I got a pretty busy Monday today, as you can see. But Tuesday is not so bad. Tuesday I got I got an opening here from about 11 o'clock until all the way until like lunch and then lesson planning. No big deal. But like, I can see how busy my day is going to be even before the day starts. So I'm not just living in reaction mode. I'm living in a more proactive mode. So I'm going to stop the share. That's what I'm gonna ask you, you guys to do for your next activity. Let me go ahead and pull up the instructions. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes for this. Don't pull your up the show. I've been doing that all day. Yeah, Neftali, you messaged me that you can't see my screen, but I think everybody else can. So I think it's something on your end, Neftali, but we can talk about that afterwards if you'd like. So this is what I want you to do for our solo time. You should all have your calendar already made up. This is my class time. This is my LC time. This is my study time. This is my personal time. I'm gonna give you 10 minutes. So I'm gonna give you till 11:05. You can go ahead and pull yourself off camera. And I want you to color code by event. So that means like your classes should be one color. Your LC should be one color. Your study time should be one color. Your personal time, one color. Come back at 11:05 and be prepared to share your screen. I'm here if you have any questions.
We kind of did something like this with June. So can we just, or we have to make one on Outlook? Because his was an Excel.
His was an Excel. Yeah. We just got, okay. If you did with Kachun already, let's just make one with Outlook, and then if you're done, you can give me a green checkbox if everybody finishes early. Then we'll just keep on going. Good question. Ashley Ross, you have your hand up.
Yes, this is a more general question. Is the prep time that's before 9, is that office hours?
For my schedule?
Yeah.
No, that's just time that I use to prepare for the day. It's like last minute lesson planning, maybe like fielding emails. Because the thing of it is, like, I don't want to show up to work and like immediately be in a meeting. Like, I want some time to kind of get ready for the day. So I use that 30 minutes as prep time. Because what happened today is, like, I was in Youth Represent, that seminar, and then 15 minutes later, I was here with you guys. So like, if my stuff wasn't organized, that would be a really quick turnaround. So I use that 30 minutes to really, focus in on that. How do you do it, Ashley Ross? Oh, I guess she's
can you repeat that question, please? Sorry.
Yeah, how do you schedule your time to make sure that you have adequate time to like prepare for the day and get yourself together?
I have no idea. I'm still working on getting myself together.
No, that's a really good question. So what we're going to do, because you asked that, is when we come back from break, we're going to discuss that exact thing. Like, how do we make sure we schedule time to get ourselves together?
Hey Eric, question.
Yep.
The LC, that will be for Kachun's class or this class as well?
So your LC, good question, David. Your LC is Monday morning kickoff and Friday feedback. That's the things that you do with your learning community. So those should have their own unique color.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, Majida is the first one done. Who's going to be second? Manny, great job. Ooh, Rahul's giving me a thumbs up. She's done. Got 3 done and 29 to go. Amina is done. Give me the green check mark on the side. We got about 2 more minutes. Let's try to get as many green checks as possible. Karina is done. Thank you, Karina. Moses is done. Thank you, Moses. Ashley Gavin, excellent. Luis, thank you. $90 more seconds. Julissa, thank you. And if you're comfortable sharing how you did it, if you're done, type in the chat box that you'd be happy to share, and we'll call on you to report out. Remember, participation is 10 points in this class. So type in the chat box, I'll share how I did it. Majida, thank you. Do I have 2 others? Rahul, thank you. Eric Palmer, Outlook is a little confusing on a Mac. Yeah, I'm sure. Ashley Ross, check. All right, 30 more seconds. Go ahead and get yourself back in on camera if you're sitting at your desk. We're gonna get going here in about 15 seconds. As people start coming back, Majida, you can go ahead and pull up your screen, and in a moment we'll ask you to go ahead and report how you did it. And Pablo will share on Mac. Thanks, Pablo. So Majida, Rahul, and then Pablo. All right, everybody should be back. It's 11:05. Let's go ahead and see you on screen. And Majida was so kind to go first. So whenever you're ready, Majida, the floor is yours.
Okay, so, well, first when you actually open Outlook, it brings you here. So I first went to the calendar, and then based off, first it already categorizes, like Outlook categorizes the classes. So I just simply like left click and then do categorize and then just do any colors. And then in addition, if you go on all categories, you get to either like add in a new color or like just rename them to according to what you want. And yeah, so I went here, for example, I'll change this right now. I'll go on categorize and then having used purple, so I'll just click on this. And then another thing I added was these little tiny sides on here, which shows like depending, you could, I believe, even edit them. I'm not sure, but here it says if like you're free at that time or is tentative or working elsewhere. So I kind of, if I'm busy at that time, so I just put this in. That's it.
Awesome, Majida. Thank you so much, and thanks for bringing that up. I really appreciate that you can put on your calendar. If you do that solid bar, that means like I'm busy. Don't try to schedule a meeting with me during this time. So excellent. All right, Majida, you can stop sharing your screen. Let's go ahead and give her a clap. Rahul, you're up. All right, Rahul, do you want to go ahead and share what your
Sorry,
reasoning?
Yes.
It's okay.
I forgot where the mute button was. But so from my calendar, I didn't categorize all my courses as one color. I like seeing my separate courses, so that's why I have you saved here as purple. I have all my my coaching lunches saved as a default color. I have separate classes too in college, so I have those saved onto my calendar as well. I did the same thing that Majida did. They're already pre-organized and pre-categorized, and as well as when I made the schedule, I made it all together, so all the events are one series. So basically, once I go on an event, I go over to the right usually, and it's a little laggy, but I'll right-click, for example, your class. I can categorize. I chose purple, and I also noticed that you can show as busy, tentative, working elsewhere, and that's also useful for your managing your calendar. So that's how I did it. I have a Cahoon's class as green. So all LCJ events are blue, and I'm gonna have Kara's class as yellow.
Awesome. One thing, Rahul, excellent job. Before you pull away, you have the little cap next to the classes. Can you share what like how you did that? So that's a good feature.
So the funny thing is, I actually just noticed that as well. So I actually don't know how I did that.
So you see a little button where it says charm. There you go, charm. So click on charm, and then you can like add a little symbol. It's just like, for some people they like that visual, because right there you can put like a weight from at the gym, or a car from traveling, or for you have a cap from in class for a cap and gown. So just an extra way to keep yourself organized and keep yourself together. So
definitely good to know, and we'll utilize it.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, see, who says Outlook is boring, right? So, all right, Rahul, you can stop sharing your screen. Let's go ahead and give him a clap. Excellent job. Very good. And Pablo, I think you're going to share it on a Mac for us, so you can go ahead and pop up your screen. Thanks, Pablo.
So, so this is what I have. I have red for Monday morning kickoff, and on Fridays for LLT. And then for your class, I have it on purple. And then for my business class, I have it on blue. And I also have, all right, here's better. I also have lunchtime from 11:45 to 12:30. And I also have Kachun's class for orange.
Cool. Do me a favor. Click on just one day on your calendar, like the view just a day. Do you know how to do that?
There?
Yeah, there. Yeah, thank you. So here's the one thing I want to suggest to everybody, and thank you for showing this. Two things. Everyone can do it however they want. Personally, I like having like all my classes just one synced color. And that way I just know my brain, purple's class time. That just works for me, but you can do it however you want. The second thing that I would encourage everyone to do is block off time in your schedule. Ashley Ross brought up a really good point, because on my calendar, you see 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. is prep time. And she's like, well, what do you do during that time? And that's the time where I get to my desk, I open up my computer, I look at emails, I organize my thoughts for the day, I write everything I'm gonna get done that day. And like everybody needs time throughout their work day where it's like, this is I call it head down time. Vanessa calls it cave time, where it's like I'm not in class, I'm not in a meeting, I'm not in a Monday morning kickoff or Friday feedback. It's not office hours, it's not lunch. It's just this is time when I study, this is time when I prepare, this is time when I get myself ready. And I have found that if you don't have that in your calendar, it very unlikely to get done. So like looking over here, at Pablo's calendar, at 2 p.m. he has, Sys 201 with Kachun, and then it looks like he's done for the day. So if I was in his shoes, I would say, okay, 3:15 when that class is done, I'm going to take 30 minutes to just, look at my deliverables and knock out what I can if my schedule allows. So that's something I would encourage you to do too. Factor in your study time as well. It's really important to be accomplished. So go ahead, Pablo. You can stop sharing. Can we give Pablo a clap? And I saw David Torres. You want to share? Was there anything that you want to share that was different than we've seen so far, or is that pretty much all the same?
Yeah, it was pretty much all the same, despite the charms which I just added. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the charms are pretty cool too. And the nice thing I like about this exercise, I know it might feel like, not silly, but it might feel like, what's the point of doing this? The reason that it's so important to do this is it just keeps your brain organized. It's like I know today, even before I got to work, that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have a lot of meetings today. I'm gonna be on Zoom for 6 hours today. Guess what I'm not gonna get done today? I'm not gonna grade very much. I'm not gonna lesson prep very much. I'm just not. I have an 8-hour workday and 6 hours is spent just in Zoom meetings. So it just gives me that permission to know, okay, I know I'm going into, as opposed to if I wasn't doing this, then 5 o'clock rolls around. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I so tired? Well, because I've been on Zoom all day, right? So that's why it's so important and so critical to do. So what we're gonna do real quick, guys, is I'm gonna pop into the chat box a link. This should take you straight to your Schoology, and this should take you to the key terms that we need to know for Outlook. So click on that link, and when you have that open and you see the PDF that says key terms, give me a green checkbox on the side. All right, I'm seeing some green checkboxes. Great, great, great. Let's give it 15 more seconds. I want to see the most of you doing it. And for those of you who are like, I can't find it, I can't figure out, the workaround is you go to your Schoology, you click on this class, you click on Unit 2 Outlook, which is the unit we're on, you click on resources, and you click on key terms for quiz. So it looks like the most of you have found it. If you haven't, just keep looking around. It's on Schoology. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna come back at 11:20. I want you to put yourself off camera and try to internalize as many of those as possible. And we're gonna have a quiz, a pop quiz. So you got 6 minutes to study, and we'll see you at 11:20. So may the odds be ever in your favor. My student said, bless you, Elazar.
Oh,
Yeah.
some thanks.
He says thanks. Evelyn and David Torres.
They have bright futures, those guys.
All right, 2 more minutes. One more minute, folks. If you're back to your desk and you feel like pretty confident that you have, the material well internalized, you can put yourself back on camera. We're gonna get started here in about 45 seconds. All right, it's 11:20 at my clock. Go ahead and pull yourself off on camera. I want to make sure I can see everybody. Jesus, can you do me a favor and unmute yourself and let me know if you can see my screen? It should say key terms for email.
Yes, I can, Eric.
Excellent, thank you, Jesus. Okay, so as I shared last week, everybody, week 1 of our course, it starts very light. Okay, it's like imagine we all went to a pool, and week 1 is like we're just staring at the water. Like, all right, this is kind of what the pool looks like. Now, week 2 is the time that we kind of take our socks and shoes off and dip our toes in a little bit. And that's what this week is going to be. So you're going to notice it's going to be much more of a workload this week than it is last week, because we're preparing you for the workforce. And when you guys go to your internship in your career, your manager or your boss is not going to take it easy on you. They're going to expect a lot from you, and I would make sure you're prepared for that. So with that being said, I want to ask a definition that's not in the sheet you just studied, but what does the term critical thinking mean to you? In the chat box, if someone says, think critically about this, what are they communicating? What are they saying? Or they say, be a critical thinker. What does that mean to you? Jesus, in-depth thinking. Manny, thinking outside of the box. Good answers. To be an objective thinker, take all aspects into perspective. Yeah. Thinking harder than usual. Very good. Yes, all of that. So here's the thing. Yeah, Mahmoud, perfect. Creative solutions to unique problems. Naftali, think outside the box. Deep analyzing. The reality of it is that I'll share with you all a little tidbit. The number one feedback that we get from our partners when folks from Europe go to internship is that they lack critical thinking skills. And the reason that a lot of times that we lack critical thinking skills is we're given information and we just said, okay, digest this and now give it back to me. That's not really critical thinking. That's just learning how to memorize and learning how to repeat. So for example, imagine you see something on the news and you're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And you believe that exact source on the news because you read one article on it. A critical thinker would say, let me read 5 articles on this or 10 articles on this from different perspectives and different optics. And that gives me a fuller picture of what's really going on in the situation. The facts are most of us don't do that. The facts are most of us see one piece of information. Some of us see a meme. Some of us just see a picture with white letters next to it and assume that's fact when it's not. To think in depth, to analyze, to think thoroughly requires critical thinking, requires some hard work. So with that being said, this little pop quiz for one, it's not graded, okay? It's just to analyze how well you think critically through what you just learned. But it's not gonna be the definition. It's not gonna say, here's a definition, which one is this? It's gonna require you to think critically about it. So everything's gonna be in the chat box. I'm gonna pop the question up and I want you to type in the chat box the answer. So the very first one, if something is attached to an email, what does that mean? Notice I didn't ask what is an attachment. I'm asking, well, what does it mean if something is attached to an email? A file, a picture, a document, a link file. Yep. Yeah, Julissa, do me a favor, take yourself off mute. If you were to email me and you say this, the file is attached, like what does that mean? Like what am I supposed to do with that information?
You guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, so if I were to send you something and there's like a picture or a document or something other than just the email, there will be a, it's like under the email, there will be like an extra file, depending on what it is, whether it's a picture, a document, it will be attached to the email so that you can see both.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Julissa. Let's give her a clap. What it means essentially is that, yeah, there's a paper clip, Ashley Ross, is that what I'm sharing with you in this email, there's more than just the text in this message. There's a photograph, there's a file, there's a document, there's a PDF, whatever it is that's attached. Click on the paper clip, and we'll talk more about that this week, but that's exactly what that is, so thank you. All right, great job, guys. Next one. If you start composing an email, never send it, but want to save it for later, what folder will it automatically be saved in? Oh, look at you. You guys are pros. Drafts. So if you start an email, you're writing an email to me, hey, Eric, I want to talk to you about, and all of a sudden your phone rings and you have to answer the phone, and you close out the email. The next time you open up your email, it'll already be there. Hey, Eric, I want to talk to you about this. So that's really helpful to know. You don't have to start the whole entire email all over again. All right. Ashley Ross, you have a question?
Yes. If you have an email that you want to send at a certain time, like you schedule it, is that still in your drafts or is part of your outgoing box?
So like you compose an email and you want to send it later?
Yes. Like
So
you're
like
scheduled to send at a certain time.
yes, that would go in what's called your outbox. So that's a different folder. That's a really good question. So what Ashley is saying is that there's a function, and we'll talk about this down the road, where suppose you wanted to like email somebody at 4 p.m. today, but you want to compose the email now. You can put it in a outbox and it'll send at 4 p.m. as opposed to 11:26 a.m. So yeah, that saves in your outbox as opposed to your draft. Drafts won't send; they just sit there until you engage them again. All right, here's an easy one. What is a hyperlink? Now the definition in your own words. Yes, Ashley Ross has a perfect answer. Clickable link that goes somewhere else. Rahul, clickable link to clickable text to an email to desired links. Yes, Kevin Bueno, word that makes you click to take a website or a file. Kevin, do me a favor, pull yourself off mute and explain to me when you might use a hyperlink in an email.
Repeat that question, my bad, I just had to.
Yes, of course, not a problem. When might you use a hyperlink in an email? Like what would you have a purpose of that for?
For example, maybe like when we have Zoom classes, you could just send someone an email and just put like year up class, and then it would take you to the Zoom call or the class.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kevin. We're going to come back to hyperlink because I think this is important and a really good skill that you're going to need in the workforce. But Kevin hit the nail on the head, but we'll talk about it in more detail. All right, I think we have 2 more questions. What is the difference between reply and reply all? Yes, David Torres, reply one person, reply all recipients, one versus everyone. Yep, exactly. Exactly. All right, Christian, pull yourself off mute. When should you do reply to one person? When should you do reply all when emailing?
So reply all is, for example, if you send me an email directly to me and it doesn't have any more recipients in the email, then I just reply to you. But for example, if we're in a group, I can reply all so everybody can see the email.
Let me ask you a question, Christian. Let's say I emailed everybody in his class the deliverable for tonight, and you have a question on deliverable. Would you reply only to me, or would you reply to everybody in the class?
Only to you.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I got the question for the professor, not to everybody in the class.
Precisely. Yes, I agree. I would ask it would just reply to me because we don't want to have 40 questions in our inbox. It's just going to be confusing. So when you have a question just for the professor, yes, it's just to him or her alone, not to everybody. Thanks, Christian. Let's give him a hand clap. Perfect answer. Next one. Last up, 2 more questions. What is the spam folder? Yeah, spam folders typically are things that you don't have much interest in. However, I would encourage you to at least once a week go in just to make sure, because occasionally what happens is an email you do want to look at will go to spam. And you just want to make sure that you field that email because it might be something important or pertinent. So that's where junk mail, ads, yep, all those things go. It does not arrive in your natural inbox. All right, you guys are doing great. And what is a subject line, and is it important? All right, Chelsea, you said high importance. Pull yourself off mute. First of all, Chelsea, what is a subject line and why does it matter?
Okay, so a subject line is basically, if you want to put it in simple terms, the title of the email is what the recipient first sees before they even open it. So it lets them know briefly what the email might be about. And it's of high importance because when there are emails with no subject line, it makes it undesirable to look at because you don't know what the contents are. So you're like, okay, this must not be important. Because if it was important, they'd tell me what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So here's the thing. When you guys get into the working world, a lot of your coworkers, if you email them and there's no subject line, they're going to automatically delete your email. They're not even going to look at it. They're going to say, it's like the equivalent to like walking into a meeting wearing your pajamas. They're like, I'm not even going to talk to you. You're obviously not prepared. So subject line, very, very important. I saw Jaleesa's hand and then David.
I have a quick question regarding the spam.
Yeah.
So that's not the same thing as the trash. Is there like a trash folder or like a trash component in Outlook?
Yes, that's a really good question. Yes, spam is mail that goes automatically to this folder where it's essentially things that the Outlook believes are of no interest to you. It's advertisements, it's unknown senders, it's potentially things that can harm your computer. It's things that it assumes you don't want to look at. So it's its own folder. Trash is the folder in which you put your mail you don't want to look at anymore. It's like you control the trash. Spam is automatic. But like I said, you should check your spam still. about once a week, just to make sure, because it does happen where like people, suppose like you emailed me from your personal address, that would probably very likely go to the spam folder. So it would say, I don't know who this person is, they're coming from a Gmail account, and I would probably not see it. Whereas if you send it from a Europe account, it would immediately go into my inbox because we share the same URL. Yeah, but trash is what you fielded. Yeah, David Torres.
Yeah, sometimes I would look in my spam folder and then there'll be like these suspicious domains that would ask me for like, bank info, or they'll send me like suspicious links that'll lead you to like a phishing website. And if I say if it looks suspicious, then it's best to not click on it.
Yeah, very good advice for internet safety. Do never, ever, ever, ever click a link that you don't recognize.
Or use a VPN.
Yes, just exactly. Just don't do it. And if a king from Egypt ever tells you that he has an inheritance for you, he does not. Do not send him your bank information. It's just don't. If you don't, if it looks fishy, just delete it and move on with your day. All right, we're down to our last 10 minutes. I just want to share one quick thing about hyperlinks because I think this is really important for your career. Jesus, do you see my inbox right now, or do you see the key terms?
I can see your inbox, Eric.
Okay, thanks, Jesus. So let's go ahead and say I'm going to write an email. We're going to go ahead and say this is to Vanessa. I'm going to go ahead and say, cool video I saw on Outlook. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hi Vanessa, how you doing? We're going to skip over that part. Here is the link. Now let's just say my video is this. Outlook YouTube video. All right. So I watched this video. Hold on a second. All right, Jesus, you can see my inbox again?
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of doing this, which is unprofessional, it's just like, that's just not ideal. It's just like, wait, this long, complicated link. I'm going to do this instead. Here is the link. I'm going to press these two little, rings down here. And it's going to give me this. I'm going to put it there. And then boom, there's the link. So now when Vanessa clicks on this, it goes to the YouTube video. The nice thing about this as well is that I can scroll over this. I don't know if you can see it. You see how it pops up what the link is, the YouTube link? See, that's a lot better and looks a lot more professional than here is the link. Like that's just not as nice. So here is the link down here, 2 rings, copy and paste. There you go. You can open it up. All right, so stop sharing my screen. Let's go ahead and do this. We got 9 minutes left. Are there any questions on anything we discussed today before we go over the deliverables for this week? You can type in the chat box, or actually, no, raise your hand on the right side if you have a question in regards to today's content. Hey, Zeus, do you have any hands?
So far, no. I don't see any hands.
Okay, great. Well, that's good for me. That means
actually, yeah, Manny.
Oh yes, Manny, please.
Manny.
Yeah. So I was just on Schoology last night, and I see that you have a key terms quiz. Is that the one that we just took, or that's a different one that we're gonna take?
Manny, you are so smart. You're ahead of the game. You're like Samaje with the color-coded calendars. I can't get anything past you all. That is your key term quiz is what you're going to take tonight. What we just did is not that, okay? I'm going to give you I'm going to drop down here. This is your, that was sent out privately. So that's everything. So hey, Zeus, do me a favor. Read that out to the class, and then if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
All right. Today's deliverables is take the key term quiz tonight before 11:59 p.m. Watch a 30-minute video on Outlook. Report 5 takeaways into the discussion board, which is due tomorrow at 11:59, and then respond to 2 posts, which is due on Thursday. So just to make it clear, I guess we have two different deliverables: the quiz and the video with the responding to all the posts.
Yes, so to answer May's question, you still have to take your quiz. It's in Schoology. It's 10 questions long. Half are fill in the blank, half are true and false. So please submit that before 11:59 tonight. You have a few free minutes. You can even do it right now. The other one is you have a 30-minute long video. Remember how I said earlier, we're taking off our shoes and socks. We're dipping our toes in the water. So it's not like a 5-minute video or 8-minute long video. It's going to take you some time. But then you have till tomorrow evening to submit 5 takeaways, complete sentences, no 3 words within the discussion board. So those are your deliverables. Yes, Luis, they should be accepting submissions. Do me a favor, can someone just go in and make sure you're able to do it? And if not, I can make sure to open it up. But I think it should be ready to go. But we'll take a moment to just double check. It isn't. Okay. Chelsea says it's not. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open it right now to make sure you guys can take it. So key terms quiz, edit, publish to students, comments enabled. All right, you know what? Let me do this. Just give me like 5-10 minutes. I'll put it up for you guys, and then you should be good to go. Majida, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, for the assignments you have like deliverables, like one of them is like a email signature. Is it like, if we can do it beforehand, it's like, are we allowed to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Majida. Thanks for asking. So the answer is yes, you can submit it early if you already know how to do that. However, I would advise you, like one of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow, which is our email signature day, is when you create a year up signature, it has to be on brand. It has to be the colors, the font, everything has to be exactly how year up emails look. So if you feel confident, like I know how to do that, no problem, go right ahead. But if you're like, oh, I'm not totally sure, I'm a little reluctant, then I would hold off at least until tomorrow to do it. But yeah, we're going to talk through that tomorrow morning. How to create the year of signature. But if you are like, yeah, I know how to do that already, go right ahead. If you're like, I'm kind of uncertain, then I would wait. But yes, to answer your question, anybody in this class is more than welcome to do anything in advance they want. You're not going to lose points for going too fast. But I would encourage you, if you have any doubt, like, I'm not totally sure how to do that, then I would hold off. So.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Any other questions? Okay, well, that will conclude today. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the quiz so you guys can go ahead and take it, and do that please before midnight, before 11:59, excuse me. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 9.
Eric, I think Ashley has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Ashley. Yeah. Which Ashley?
Ashley Gavin, I think.
Ashley Gavin, yeah. Are you there, Ashley?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just wondering where I could find the 30-minute video because it's not posted on the side of Schoology.
Yep, so what you should do is I'll go ahead and share my screen. So we just talked about hyperlinks. There's a hyperlink on Schoology. Jesus, can you see that?
Yes.
So if you click on right there, watch this video, that'll take you to it. And then if you have Outlook web app, OWA, there's this one, which is also helpful. So the first video, the 30-minute long video, that's actually using it via the downloaded program. The other one's with the web browser. If you click on those links, that's the videos.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, if you guys have any more questions, you're free to go.
Eric.
Thank you.
Eric's David. So regards of the Outlook email, I'm available at 3:15.
Okay, can you please email that to me so I have it?
Yes.
Your time, thank you.
All right, thank you, Eric.
Thanks.
Hey, Eric, it's Ricardo.
Yes, Ricardo.
So it's 2 videos that we're watching?
So to answer your question, you only have to watch the 30-minute long one, but the other one might also be a good supplemental resource, as that is how to navigate Outlook through the web browser, which most of you, to my knowledge, are using.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And I don't know if you got my message, but for some reason my camera wasn't working, and I have to restart the laptop. I just didn't want to restart it in the middle of class.
No, it's okay. Thanks for the heads up.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Too. Any other questions, guys?
Have a nice day, Eric. Thank you.
You too, Moses. Good to see you.
Have a nice day, Eric.
You too, Mahmood. Great to see you. Take care.